The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have issued a warning to photographers who say they are permanently camped outside their home on Vancouver Island.
Prince Harry joined his family after concluding meetings with his family.
It's a sound the Duke of Sussex has been accustomed to throughout his life. The camera shutters welcoming his arrival to Canada. That peaceful new life might not be so peaceful after all. The clamour for news back home is as intense as ever. And a photo of the Duchess walking with baby Archie in the Canadian woods has attracted the threat of legal action from the couple. The peace and quiet of this part of Canada is what attracted them here. Their temporary home down this lane on a private estate has become a magnet for those seeking pictures. However far they are from the UK, they remain newsworthy.
American photography, it could be a problem. I think they could go up to Vancouver if the couple stay there, and they could be based there for weeks, months on end.
The local newspapers on Vancouver Island are doing their best to give them space, to make them feel protected here.
Places like this, where the Duchess has been spotted, are suddenly the centre of enormous interest. And Canada doesn't have the kind of code of conduct for newspapers like they have in the UK. Celebrity privacy laws haven't been tested in the courts here. And just across the border, in the US, the paparazzi see celebrities as legitimate targets.
History's told us that photos of the royals off guard are big business. This one of Diana with Dodie fired among a set that was sold worldwide for £1 million. The hounding of Harry's mother may well have been from a different era, but as the then Kate Middleton found, times have only changed so much. And imposing controls on the media abroad is another matter altogether.
When you're a royal on tour, you do get a degree of protection, and it's heavily choreographed. But I think it might be the time where the royal rota has to widen out, and there has to be more access, more questions allowed. That's up to the royals. But certainly as private individuals, they won't have that restriction.
The couple is already fighting legal battles with newspapers back home. As they exit the royal bubble, they're entering a world far more out of their control.
I don't get the complaints. I'm sorry, there's a photograph that wasn't in that particular story, but we have been running this morning, is a photograph of the Duchess of Sussex, who was walking in a public park in Canada with baby Archie, and they have threatened the paparazzi because that photograph was printed. And I'm like, well, if this is what they were expecting it to be, nice and easy, now that they're private citizens, well, they've completely misread the play. And completely mistaken, because you're in a public area, they're going to come for you more now.
Oh, and that's right. And there were some journalists warning in the United Kingdom that in the UK the royals are somewhat protected. The palace does come down pretty hard on journalists who break the rules. And of course there are royal correspondents in the United Kingdom who need that relationship with the palace in order to really get their stories every day. So there was a bit of a quid pro quo in Britain. I mean, some of the tabloids, reading the tabloids in the UK, you wouldn't think so. But now they are private citizens. They've moved to Canada, and really now they're open to the free press in North America, who, as we know, for movie stars that live in LA, can be quite vicious and imposing indeed. But look, this was one reason that Harry and Meghan really wanted to quit the royal family. That was made clear by Harry, but he's going to have a tough time of it. And as long as there's interest around him, I don't think the photographers are going to stay away.
I mean, I get the frustration of a long lens going into your own home while you're in there. That's a frustration that's understandable. But if you're out in the public, if you're out in a park carrying your baby, you're fair game. You're fair game for the photographers, I'm afraid.
Tend to agree.